Hello, hello. How are y'all doing? I am Matt from the Golden Octagon. Really quick, right before we just get started, I have to give you guys just a quick heads up that today's show is going to be on a little bit of a time crunch because I have a lot going on today. UFC Prism Undercard came out, and I have to run through this podcast as quick as possible. Get on here so I can rip that to upload that also for y'all tonight. So with that being said, let me go ahead and drop the beat real quick. Yes, we are here. We are back. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen as always, and this is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. If you missed it, you may have, you may not have. We did a UFC 288 post-fight recap right after the fights this past Saturday night. So if you missed that, feel free to go back and watch. We'll have a few topics on here, but for the most part, as I just said, kind of want to run through this as quick as possible because I have some other stuff I have to really get cooking so I can upload that. So with that being said, D Rose, how you been, dude? How are you this past weekend?
Things been good. I thought it was a decent pay-per-view this past weekend. I mean, I kind of stepped back and looked at it as a whole, and the prelims were actually pretty good. If the prelims or if the main card had delivered like the prelims did, or had it been vice versa, I think more people would have probably been happy about the card. But still maintain my stance about it being a C. But good card overall, and hey, even if it was C on the card, your boy had a pretty big betting weekend, so definitely was happy to have that turnaround. Because I was about ready to quit FanDuel at a certain point,
and that is one of the topics that we will touch on for this past weekend on today's show. So with that being said, jump into it real quick. Lush Lomain in here really early. Let's go. Appreciate you guys both 100%. Thank you, Lush Lomain, for always stopping in here, usually being one of the first ones in here the past few weeks. So we appreciate you
yes, sir,
stopping in here, brother.
Lush Lomain, he been faithful, dude. So yeah, shout out to Lush Lomain, man.
Yeah, we got Brent Talley in here, Almeida, Walker, Gary, Morono. It's definitely possible. I believe all pretty big favorite. I think Johnny Walker might be even, but all favorites could definitely happen. Wouldn't surprise me. B card, Burn, Bilal. Maybe he's talking about the Burns and Bilal fight is what kind of made it the card worth it. That being said, we appreciate all of y'all for jumping in here live or after. If you don't know, my name is Matt D Rose over there. So with that being said, real quick, Dorian, let me pull this up on the screen. So main takeaways from this past weekend that we didn't talk about straight after the fights. Real quick, let the people know how you did betting wise this past weekend, because you did hint at a few parlays that you won or something like that. Do you want to? I don't know if you want to reveal how much you won, but if you just want to reveal the parlay number or however you want to say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't like it was a whole bunch of money, but it was enough to where I had a pretty decent turnaround. I hit one parlay. I had a couple of one championship parlays with it. Sage Northcutt and Demetrius Johnson, and with an end on Chaos Williams. So my heart was definitely thumping there at the end when they said 30-27 for the other for the other guy. I don't forget his name now, but Badoy. But yeah, I was definitely nervous there, but ended up hitting that. So won like $50 off $5. Took most of that, turned it around, put another 20 on a straight bet on Bilal Muhammad because I was that confident in him. Won almost another 50 off that, then hit a underdog parlay with Bilal and Aljo with the over on the 1.5 with Crone and Charles Jourdain. But man, if Drew Dober, man, there's two other parlays that I would have hit. If Drew Dober had just won, I would have won a lot more money. but definitely came out on the plus end this weekend. So that was happy about that.
Yeah. That being said, I'm not sure if y'all can see it right here. So let me go back to this angle. D Rose got something shiny over his shoulder, and I am missing something back here this week. Dorian is your new pick champ this week. If you missed it this past Saturday, the 3 fights, Dorian, that I was most confident in this past weekend was Marina Rodriguez versus Verna. I had Marina Rodriguez all day. We seen how that went. Another one that I was super confident in was Drew Dober versus Matt Frevola. I was like, no one's cracking Drew Dober's chin. Matt Frevola comes out there and proves me wrong, dude. And then lastly, Yan Xiaonan just cleaning house, getting Jessica Andrade out of there. Round 1, dude. So the 3 fights that I was most confident in this past weekend, I couldn't have been more wrong on, dude. They got demolished or completely dominated. And it goes to show you can be so confident. You can watch this sport every single week. But at the end of the day, dude, it's a fist fight. You don't know all the ins and outs going into the fight. You don't know game plans. And some people just have an X factor, and you can't rely on MMA math to work, because we seen what happens this past weekend. Yeah, so needless to say, I could not pick my nose this past weekend, as my man old D Rose would say. But man, I had completely rough betting this past weekend. But now for the past 2 weeks, I haven't won one single parlay these past 2 weeks. So kind of humbling. I was really wrong this past weekend, and I think I probably bet more than usual, because I think I had my 3 favorites. I may have put like $10 on it, just like them 3, like my exact fucking method of victory, and it would have hit like like $800 off the fucking $10, so it would have been great. But all of those were completely wrong. So I just made an extra donation to FanDuel and the draft this week. So hopefully this upcoming weekend I can get back on the betting roll. Maybe I need to make a few smaller bets to get my confidence back up. Not really chase those 7-9 legs. Let me come back down to reality. Let me get a few 3 and 4 legs so I can build my confidence back up. But yeah, maybe I need to change my whole betting perspective as a whole.
And to be fair, I mean, I thought that Rodriguez was going to beat James Adoba too. So I mean, I had pretty good confidence in that. But the Steamroller and Drew Dober one, that was the one I told you, and I think I let you even in a swam into picking Dober, but I was definitely leaning a little bit towards Matt Frevola and Yan Xiaonan. For some reason, I just seen it coming, and Andrade, she just doesn't change things up, so it just seems like the same thing just keeps happening to her over and over again. Love her half to death, though.
Oh, yeah, real quick. I was surprised at the size of Jan over Andrade, dude, because Andrade is like small, but at 115, she's fairly good size. But, dude, Jan is massive for 115, dude.
Yeah, no, she definitely is. That's why I said, I think I maybe mentioned it the other day when they stood across each other in the octagon. Like I knew there was going to be a little bit of a size difference, but there was a significant size difference when they stood across from one another. And Jan likes to fight at range anyway, so I knew that was going to kind of favor her going in. So, but it definitely played a bigger factor than what I even thought going in.
All right, D Rose, real quick. Give me 3 main points from this card that you just want to note before moving on. Just 3 big moments, and I'll give you my 3, and then we'll just move on to the fight news and announcements so we can get into this weekend's fights.
I think one of the big things that had actually kind of irritated me, and these are just kind of just points I'm just going to make. They none of them have any connection to one another. I'm just kind of going off the top here, but a lot of people going into the fight were saying that for Cejudo and Sterling, a lot of people were saying that Cejudo's fight IQ, he's just next level mind. And look, I understand. Look, he's helped train other fighters. I'm not saying that he's not a smart fighter, but we just made it seem like Aljamain was just washed up roadkill or something. Like I don't know why we just made him this dummy out of nowhere, like dumber than a box of rocks. Like he just couldn't do anything with his fight IQ. And I thought a lot of that fight ended up coming down to kind of strategizing, game plan, adjustments mid fight, And I do think Cejudo, and even to Sterling's point after the fight in the post-fight press conference, he had even mentioned that, Cejudo made some good adjustments during the fight. But, man, a lot of people pumped up Cejudo's fight IQ, but fight IQ is not going to be able to win it for you if you're that undersized against someone, man. I mean, if Mighty Mouse was fighting, some of the guys at 135 now, I would like to say that he would be favored in some of those, but just being undersized, man, you could be as smart as you can, but when you're just that much undersized against your opponent, that does come into a factor there. That Merab Dvalishvili, man, he really stole. I think he stole the moment. I really think, with the whole Sean O'Malley thing when he came into the octagon, that really, I think he kind of made a turn for like that moment when he got on top of the octagon with Sean O'Malley's jacket. That made a turn for him to where the fans are absolutely in love with him now. Like, I've seen nothing but just this outright support for Merab, saying that he's a treasured item in MMA, and we don't need anything to happen to him and stuff. So he was able to take that moment, turn it around for a positive, and now people are absolutely in love with him. And I'm wondering what they're going to end up doing with the fight for Sterling, as far as he said he wants it to be September. The UFC was kind of maybe leaning towards August, but between August and September, it isn't that huge of a deal. I think it's more of a control thing for Sterling, more than it would be, kind of like an injury thing. I just think he doesn't want to be on the UFC schedule. He wants to try to be able to get on his own schedule, maybe try to relax and, try to celebrate this victory for a moment before turning back around and getting into another camp.
Yeah, man. Me personally, you took my second one. But I would guess firstly was just the, just the Merab, Aljo Sugar situation, dude. It was all hilarious. And as you said, like Merab hopped up on the cage, dude. It was hilarious. And like the character, like that Merab came at, what was it? Fucking UFC 288, dude. It was only good for, dude. It was good for everyone. The interaction between him and O'Malley there, and even like fucking after, dude, because they were chirping like fucking back and forth with the funniest shit back and forth. It was truly hilarious. So shout out Merab. Number 2, dude. I have to. I think I may have it loaded in the stream still. I do indeed. This dude. Here, let me take our fucking banner off. Dude. When are we going to stop giving Phil Hawes a chance at not getting knocked out, dude? Because it just, dude, every single fight now, it just keeps happening. And like fucking me and you both keep saying it. It's like, bro, he's a great athlete, but he's just been touched just a few too many times. And lastly, I am going to say the spinning back fist from Rob Schneider, aka Verna Janjiroba, this past weekend. It might be the best spinning back fist in MMA, dude. I'm enjoying like the little grin there.
Rivals Ben Askren. Rivals Ben Askren. For sure.
So Lush Domain saying O'Malley going to destroy Aljo, and that's coming from an Aljo fan, dude. He was pretty big, and that's kind of one of like the takeaways. It's just the size of Aljo. Man, it's definitely going to be a crazy fight. Merab versus Henry in Boston, and then we'll talk about that in the news. Let's see if Aljo wins first round. Okay, they're just going back and forth at this point. Those kicks were nasty. Ikram is a beast, and dude, he is not this fake Russian that I guess a lot of people weren't sure of, because he hadn't really beat the best people in the world, dude. So he looks like he's for real. But once again, it was against Phil Hall. So what can we say?
Yeah, but I do think there's a chance that I think what DC said after the fight. I think it's true that you might see him get fast tracked pretty quick up the ladder because where he's already pretty high experience and there's a potential that you can make the fight with Hamzat again. That's the only loss that Ikram has in his career so far. So I mean, the dude looks like he looks like a destroyer right now. And if Hamzat moves up to 185, potentially matching them up in the future. That would be something that I think the UFC would love, and that would be awesome.
Indeed. So that being said, dude, let's jump into our fight news for this upcoming week, dude. So, well, I had it in my hand and now it went away. So that being said, we've already said that.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty decent about some of these picks this weekend. I was looking at some of them when some of these lines as far as the props and stuff drop. There's gonna be a few bets on here for this upcoming card. That
what do you think about? What do you like? If I can think about the Bo Nickel call
out. For Ikram. He called out Bo Nickel. I mean it's way too early right now for Bo Nickel. I mean Bo Nickel is going to get absolutely demolished by Ikram. I mean that was a little bit smart on his part to try to call for a big name, but yeah, he's not going to get Bo Nickel right now. He's fighting Trayshawn Gore, guys like that. He's not in business. He's probably going to fight Cody Brunage next, and Cody Brunage is going to go for a guillotine, give up position, and then just get submitted afterwards. So that seems to be more the way where Bo Nickel is going rather than trying to jump up and fight someone who's as experienced as Ikram is.
Fair enough. So we got our news right here. We got Rude Boy Randy Brown going to be taking on Wellington Turman June 24th. You care about that one?
That's a pretty interesting fight. I thought for some reason Turman, didn't he fight at 85? Wellington Turman, I could have swore he fought Sam Alvey at 85, dude, at one point in time.
Yeah, so. He actually probably did. Yeah, so that's a good note. That is welterweight too. So
that that'll be interesting because he's kind of like a jiu-jitsu grappling type guy. So if he's able to kind of establish his strength maybe in a weight class below with the smaller guys, maybe he can see a little bit more success. But
huge though.
Exactly. That's the problem. And he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu himself.
Yeah. Real quick, want to shout out the Gobles for stopping in here. Glad y'all were able to make it in here, so appreciate y'all stopping in. So up next we got Christian Rodriguez going to be taking on Cameron Simon, UFC 290 July 8th. Care about that one?
Cameron Simon, who was the first name?
Cameron Simon going to be taking on Christian Rodriguez. That's the guy that beat Raul Rosas Jr.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That should be a pretty good fight too. They keep matching Rodriguez up against the little up and coming contenders up in 125 or 135. So yeah, they keep trying to match him up against the up and comers. But Cameron Simon's definitely a lot more experienced and he's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, up next we got the Twerk King or the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt, going to be taking on Elvis Brenner July 1st. Do you care about that one at all?
It sounds like Jordan Levitt should be getting a win here. So, based on his last performance, if he comes out aggressive like that again, yeah, he should. Sounds like he should be able to get the win.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, one that I see my own comment on here. We got the return of Trevor Peek, dude. He's going to be taking on Victor Martinez. I personally cannot wait for the return of Trevor Peek, dude. If you guys don't remember, it was like the joke the last time I had a picture of like Trevor Peek like this, and there's like the last thing you see before Trevor Peek knocks you out was this, and then I just put it as a black screen.
With a fucking standing hammer fist.
Dude, Trevor Peek is going to be taking on Victor Martinez. Do you care about that one?
I know that's your boy, but it should be a fun fight because that dude is balls to the wall, man.
Yeah, Brent is definitely excited for Trevor Peek as well. We got Josh Frem going to be taking on Roman Kopylov. Care about that one?
No, not really.
All right. Andrei Arlovsky is returning against Don't Mays. Care about that one?
That's your boy. I figured he'd be hyped for a good old don't.
Yeah, here we go. Peak by shotgun blast. Jamie Malarkey going to be taking on Guram Kutataladze June 3rd. Care about that one?
That's actually a pretty good. That's actually a pretty good fight. Yeah, that's a pretty good fight. I like that.
All right, up next, dude. I swear this guy looks like Michael Chandler with a wig. Carl Deaton is going to be taking on Alexander Munoz. Let me see if I can make sure. See if I can get this on my camera, y'all. Does that not look like Michael Chandler with a wig?
I don't necessarily see it, but he swears that he sees it. I don't see it.
I swear that looks like Michael Chandler with a wig. Can we get a response in the chat? It just looks odd. Up next, we got Polyana Viana is out, and Emily Ducote will now take on Lupe Godinez on May 20th at a 120-pound catch weight, dude. I hate that Lupe keeps taking these catch weight fights, dude. Like, it's just like, I know she's a gamer and she just wants to fight, but it's like, can we just get a fight, have a full training camp, and then fight? Because I want to see her win.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what
Brent,
you're starting to
agreeing with me there with it. It looks like Chandler in a wig.
Man, I just can't. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't. But man, I forgot about
Emily Ducote, Lupe Godinez.
Yeah, fighters taking short notice fights like that. Yeah, that was my point. You're starting to see that start to, catch up and start to bite fighters that are taking these short notice fights and not really getting time to recover and get in these camps. So hopefully it doesn't come to bite her in the butt. But Emily Ducote, she's a pretty good boxer with pretty decent takedown defense. So that's definitely a pretty tough fight.
Indeed. Up next, we got Ketlin Vieira taking on Pani Kianzad. July 22nd. You care about that?
No.
All right. Arman Tsarukyan going to be taking on Joaquim Silva June 17th. Care about that?
What?
Joaquim Silva versus Arman Tsarukyan.
That sounds like a Arman's taking a pretty big step back, right?
That's what it kind of looks like, yeah.
Yeah, that's because he was calling out Beneil when Charles initially got pulled out of the fight and stuff like that. So weird to just see him get set back like that.
Yeah. We got the return of the Miracle, Lerone Murphy, going to be taking on Josh Coulibaugh on the London card, July 22nd. Thoughts on that?
That's a pretty decent fight. Two pretty good up and coming contenders at 45. That should be a pretty good fight.
Yeah, just real quick, 11 watching, only 3 likes. So, help your boys out over here. If you haven't hit that like button, that would be fantastic. Gobble saying Armin. Tank Niner in here. Hello, gentlemen. What's going on, Tank Niner? Glad you're able to make it in here. And headlining that same card, Dorian, is going to be Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura. Thoughts on that?
I think that's a pretty decent comeback fight for Aspinall. Someone who's got a pretty decent name, but I think that, Tybura is a threat, so don't get me wrong there, but I think Aspinall should probably be every bit of minus 250 favorite. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good comeback fight for Aspinall.
All right, just real quick, Dorian, I don't really need your thoughts on this because I almost feel like we've already talked about all of these, but International Fight Week, we have our main card. We have Alexander Volkanovski in the main card or in the main spot, going to be taking on Yair Rodriguez to solidify, to unify. There we go. To unify the championships. Yair Rodriguez, Alexander Volkanovski. Co-main event, we got Brandon Moreno versus Alexander Pantoja. Number 2 or 3, depending on how you want to look at it. We got Dricus du Plessis taking on Robert Whitaker. We got Jalen Turner taking on Dan Hooker. And in the opening, the pay-per-view, we got Bo Nickel taking on Trayshawn Gore. So going to be a hell of International Fight Week. And the last announcement that I have announced 2 hours ago, Holly Holm is going to be taking on Mayra Bueno Silva, headlining July 15th. You care about that at all or not?
Kind of random, but I guess they're just trying to get as much fresh bantamweight contenders as they can, because if Holly Holm's 40 and still beating a lot of these girls, then I think it says more about the division than anything.
Yeah, for sure. And Brent says he's going Aspinall, Volk, Pantoja, Whitaker, and Holm. Fair enough. That being said, dude, you got any other news or any other fight topics you want to talk about before we get into this weekend's card, dude?
No, man. I would say it's been pretty slow this week, so we can move on to the fights this weekend, man.
Hell yeah. That being said, let me pull on up the screen for.
It would have been pretty cool if we had been able to have made it to this card, though. I will say that.
You said what?
It would have been pretty cool if we could have made it to this card this weekend.
Oh yeah, me and you were going to go to this card this weekend, but you're going on vacation soon. I personally just now started another job recently. I don't have the most dollars in the world, so maybe one that's actually in Virginia or something, even though that Charlotte one would have been closer to you than driving over here to Norfolk.
Yeah. It would have been 3 hours compared to 5, but
yeah.
But hey, we'll be up y'all's way for UFC 289, so yeah, maybe we'll have something for the fans then. Stay tuned.
I have to get a sick Irene Aldana shirt for that card. So that being said, this weekend's fight card, y'all, we got UFC on ABC number 4. I'm sure you can also watch this on ESPN Plus, which is where I will be watching this at. But it is Saturday. Fight the prelims start at 11:30 a.m. So keep that in mind. This is going to be an early card for us here on the East Coast. And if you're on the West Coast, I feel sorry. You probably got to wake up, like actually set an alarm to wake up to watch these. So I feel sorry for you. But that ain't us here. We got 12 fights now. We did have 13, but I believe the co-main event got moved to next weekend's main event. It is going to take place at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. In our main event, we got Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rozenstruik taking on Jailton Malhadinho Almeida. We got Anthony Lionheart Smith taking on Johnny Walker. We got Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez taking on Ian the Future Machado Gary. We got the Black Jaguar Carlos Ulberg taking on Ihor Pateria. We got the Dirty Bird Tim Means taking on the Great White Alex Morono. We got the Immortal Matt Brown taking on the Tough as Leather old leather boot Court McGee. We got Carl Williams taking on Chase Sherman. We got Cody Stamen taking on Douglas D. Silva de Andrade. Yes, that's one person. We got Natan Levy taking on Pete Rodriguez. I forgot his fight name. Once I see it, I'm going to be like, oh, I know what it is. We got the Fire Fist Ji Young Kim taking on Mandy Bum. Her name's spelled wrong here. Remember that. Don't forget. It's B-U-M. We got Gifted Gabe Green taking on Brian Pooh Bear Battle. And then we got Jessica Rose Clark, JRC taking on Tanara Lisboa in our curtain jerker. First fight of the night. And that is where we will start. So before we get started, if y'all haven't already, hit a thumbs up. Help you boys out over here. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you doing? We're here every single UFC fight night Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. breaking down previous weekend's fights, making our picks for the upcoming weekend's fights, fight news, all this good shit that we've been doing here today. So that being said, D Rose, first fight of the night, you want to break it down, or do you want me to start while I catch up on the chat here?
Yeah, if you want, because honestly, I'm not too familiar with Tanara Lisboa.
All right, so that being said, let me catch up on the chat real quick. I can't wait to go to my first event in Chicago, Bellator next month for Brent. Am I the only one who loves this fight night card all the way down to the prelims? It is a pretty solid card. Brent agreeing.
Definitely is.
If the main event was different, it could go for a pay-per-view. Possibly. The Gobbles picking Tim Means. We are on his IG reel right now. Oh, that's pretty sick. A bunch of my 2022 Don
Dirty Bird
rated rookies. His story. Okay, fair enough. War means, and then still setting at only 3. It's all right, brother. I just can't make people do it. You just hope that they do. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. We can't help them. Just it is what it is. We're gonna be here no matter what, either way.
Exactly.
That being said, dude, let me start off like this. Tainara Lisboa is 5-2, but she has fought a lot of Muay Thai, dude. I believe her one of her losses was against Norman Dumont really early on via submission. And then when she did fight Muay Thai, she fought, I think, Valentina at about 19 years old. And then she is 32 now. So she's a little bit older. So that being said, she's a stand-up striker for the most part. She don't know what's going on the ground. And then we got Miss Jessie Jess here, Jessica Rose Clark. UFC caliber at this point. I feel like we might have some questions. She continues to get armbarred over and over again. But let me give you the statistics. We got 11-8 for Jessica Rose Clark. We got 5-2 for Tainara Lisboa. Jessica Rose Clark is the -150 favorite. Lisboa is a +125 dog. Jessica Rose Clark, dude, she's 35 years old now, 5'5", and a 67-inch reach. Lisboa is 32 years old. We don't have what she last weighed in at. I believe she fought down at a lower weight class. Or actually, no, she fought. Man, I don't know. She might be a bigger girl overall. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what she fought at last, but I know she has fought Dumont. So that makes me think she usually fights at 135 and 145. Hasn't a fucking JRC fought down at 125?
I felt like she has at some point at least. She might not have, she might have attempted, but she doesn't look like she's huge at 135 by any means.
Yeah. Anyway, Lisboa, 5'6", 66-inch reach, dude. This scares me because I feel like Jessica Rose Clark should be a much bigger favorite here because she's had multiple UFC fights. As this girl coming in doesn't have any UFC fights. She's only had 7 fights in MMA total. And JRC loves, here fucking recently, she's been going for the takedown and then getting that control when she doesn't get armbarred. That being said, I got to go the slight favorite here, Jessica Rose Clark, by decision this week. Which way you going, man?
Whew. This is definitely a tough one to call, man. Like I said, not know much about Lisboa, but I know kind of the street that Jessica Rose Clark has kind of been on, but again, I always go back to that experience. And you're talking, even though her fights hadn't been as great,
drop that, dude. She learned to fight in prison.
Definitely. I mean, from a betting perspective, Brent, I definitely don't blame you there, man. I definitely don't blame you, and that's what's kind of making me struggle picking this fight now. Is that, this is a tough fight to call. Man, you know what? Screw it. Just to shake things up, let's go. If we don't have other picks that are not thrown into the picks this weekend, let's go.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I ain't saying this with my chest too much either. But let's go Lisboa here.
All right, fair enough. That being said, I'm glad Dorian said it like that because I'm a dumbass, and every single week after we're through the first fight, I forgot to tell y'all that we make 3 different picks to put D Rose's pick champ up on the line this week. I had it last week. Obviously, he got more right than me, and he's got the pick champ this week. But it's all right. I'm going to get it back this week, and I'm going to hold it for a little bit. I may have some very confident picks. Jessie Jess being one of them. So this, as Brent said, will not be going in my parlays because unless it's just a Hail Mary one that I have just on the beginning of the fight, I don't have any confidence in Jessie Jess to win the fight because here lately, dude, she's just been getting older. She's been getting older, as everyone does, and my faith in her has been dropping slower and slower, but I'm still going to pick her to win this fight. But that's our first different pick on this card. Jessica Rose Clark versus Tanara Lisboa. I am going Jessica Rose Clark. D Rose is going Tanara Lisboa. Let's see if we need it, though. Up next, we got Gifted Gabe Green taking on Pooh Bear Brian Battle. Oh, I'm sorry. Gifted Gabe Green taking on the newly nicknamed The Butcher Brian Battle. When did that happen, D Rose?
Oh shit! No, I wasn't aware of that. No, that's news to me. But maybe trying to get more of that aggression out of him instead of having Pooh Bear, the butcher. He's here to cut people up, man. He ain't messing around now.
Fair enough, dude. We got Gifted Gabe Green, 11-4, a -125, slight favorite, which surprises me. 30 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. We got the Butcher, Brian Battle, 8-2, a +100 dog, 28 years old, 6'1" with a 77-inch reach, dude. Can you explain to me why Brian Battle is the dog here, dude? Is it because they think that Gabe Green's going to wrestle Brian Battle in his last fight? Because, dude, Gabe Green is not Renat Fakhretdinov. There's a big difference in a Russian wrestler and Gabe Green that stands in front of you. He's good at cutting off the cage, but that's about it. Explain to me. Help me out here.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, I know Gabe Green. He's solid. I know he gave Ian Gary a pretty good fight, and not that like he really put Ian Gary in some trouble, but he definitely gave Ian Gary some problems as far as defensively. Ian Gary really couldn't land any clean shots for the most part, and he was able to land a couple clean ones of his own. He was just kind of a step behind Ian Gary for the most part, but man, the size advantage again is not in his favor. Brian Battle's 6'1", he's 5'10", and Brian Battle definitely does have the 4-inch reach advantage. I don't know what I'm missing here because I'm definitely leaning towards Brian Battle here.
Yeah, fair. It looks like we are both on the Brian Battle side. It looks like the chat is as well. Like everyone kind of piling out on Battle. Brent saying it'll change by Friday. It probably will. By the weigh-ins, when everyone sees how big Brian Battle is, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit." I'm guessing the odds are due to Battle looking poor in his last fight. Yeah, but man, as I said, that was against Renat Fakhretdinov. That's a fucking that we weren't sure of if he was real or not, but he seems to be real. He's got cardio for 3 rounds, and he can continue to take you down.
Brian Battle took that fight on short notice as well. He took it on like 2 weeks' notice, so
fair enough. So we're gonna pick the same on that. Moving on up, third fight of the night, we got the Fire Fist Ji Young Kib taking on the monster Mandy Bum.
That haircut, man. Come on. What they doing to your girl?
Dude, just look at what look at this situation, right? Look at from my mouse right here to right here. This doesn't make any sense. How do you lose 4 of your last 5 and you're a -250 favorite? Can you just explain that to me? It doesn't make the most sense in the world. That being said, Mandy Baum is probably one of the worst fighters on the UFC roster. She's probably the equivalent to Jamie Pickett, but on the female side, she's not good, dude. She's not good. And that explains why the Fire Fist is a -250 favorite. But let me break it down for you. Fire Fist, Ji Young Kim, 33 years old, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. Mandy, the monster bum, 7-2, 33 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. Dude, Ji Young Kim has, I guess, power when she does hit you. She just tends to miss 8 to 9 of her 10 shots that she throws. That's the issue. I am going Fire Fist, Ji Young Kim to win via pressure and decision. Probably a very, very risky butthole puckering split decision. Do not bet on this. You should not bet on this. If you bet on this fight, you
just
should
bet on it. It would go to the only thing that I would come close to is maybe on the over. If the over is like 2.5 or so,
dude,
I think I'd take the over.
Know because Mandy Bum is bad and she could get her fucking fire fisted, dude.
True. Yeah. All of a sudden you get blasted in the first round and you're like, what the fuck?
She could get fire fisted. So don't bet on this fight. It's a risky one. Unless you're on the Mandy Bomb side, I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't really feel it. Brett giving us his Aziz there. Fair enough. Watch battle, win the Ultimate Fighter. This fight is to see who get kicks out of the UFC first. Pretty much the loser granted release. Most likely, dude. I'm surprised Young Kim's still in here, losing 4 of her last 5. But, they have been against Alexa Grasso, Molly the Meatball, Priscilla Cachoeira, and Jocelyn Edwards. That last one, maybe the risky one. You lose the Mandy Bomb now, you're getting kicked out of the UFC. But as I said, I'm going Jiyoung Kim. Who are you going this week, D-Rose?
Phew. Again, another hard one because both of them are coming in.
We do mostly pick different on women's MMA. That is our most different picks. But to be fair, I usually take you out on those. Like, those are the ones that I usually clean house on.
Hey, who took you out last week with the women's fight? So
yeah,
let's not get it twisted. I can hit it every now and then.
Let me rephrase. The lowest of level MMA, I usually clean you up on.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. The high levels usually I can get you on, but the low levels I'll agree with that. Usually, you can usually scout those out pretty good. So, but I want to say Mandy Bomb. I want to, but I know I don't. But man, I cannot pull the trigger, man.
Stream as we are sitting here. Can you just pick a fighter on this shitty ass fight so we can move on?
Dude, let's go, Mandy Bomb. Let's go.
All right, D-Rose going Mandy Bum for our second different fight of the night. I'm going Firefish Young Kim. Dorian going the monster Mandy Bum. Our next fight, dude, we have an interesting one here. We got Natan Levy taking on Dead Game Pete Rodriguez. Lethal Natan Levy, 8-1 overall, dude. Pretty solid, dude. He's a minus 295 favorite, so basically minus 300 favorite, 3-1 favorite. He is 31 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach. Dead Game, Pete Rodriguez. This is going to be his first fight down at 155. He's had 2 UFC fights, once against Jack Della, where he got absolutely demolished up at 170, and then he demolished literally the worst fighter. I don't say the worst fighter to ever grace the octagon, because that was CM Punk. Mike Jackson did beat CM Punk, but so that goes to show how good Mike Jackson is. He isn't good either. So we don't know how good Pete Rodriguez is, but he is moving down to 155. He is a plus 230 dog, 26 years old, 5'9" with a 73-inch reach, dude. So he's going to be relatively the same size as his opponent this week. So it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how he looks Friday on the scale, and at a plus 230 dog, it's worth a shot taking a shot at Pete Rodriguez by knockout, because does he have this death touch that he used to have before the UFC down at 155? I guess we'll find out. Officially, I'm picking Natan Levy though, dude. I'm picking Natan Levy. I'll probably just sprinkle a few dollars on Pete Rodriguez round 1 knockout, something like that. I don't have any confidence in him because he's only beat Mike Jackson. I'm going to go Natan Levy here to probably win by submission or decision. That's my pick. He is a huge favorite, though. Thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, as far as the betting line, man, it's just too big. Now, this is one from a betting perspective that I'm staying away from, but the only thing with Pete Rodriguez, I told you earlier, I was like, maybe he'll get knocked out again this weekend, but Natan Levy, I know he's not a knockout artist or anything. I know he's got like decent striking, but I know he doesn't have, I guess, the power threat. But Pete Rodriguez definitely does walk forward with just reckless abandon and just swings for the fences. But definitely curious to see how he sizes up with guys down at 155 compared to 170. But yeah, I'm definitely going to just for him naturally fighting at 155 and probably having the wrestling advantage. going to go with Natan Levy here.
Fair enough. And the Shadow saying based on hair, Levy wins. Yeah, fair enough. Because what does Pete Rodriguez comes in there with like a faded bowl cut that's red, like he kind of looks like Bad Bunny or like Anwell, dude. It's just it doesn't. hey man, do you, but get a better haircut. Levy looks like he's from Dragon Ball Z. Indeed. That being said, we are both on Natan Levy this week, and we will move on up to the next fight. We got Cody Stamann taking on Douglas De Silva de Andrade. Dude, he has so many names. That's not all of them. Douglas De Silva de Andrade. Hold on, I think it's Douglas De Silva de Andrade. That's what it is. Dude, why does he have so many names? Anyway,
why? That shit didn't even fit in your license. Like, you got to cut some of that shit off after a while.
Anyway, we got Cody the Spartan Stamann, 21-5, won 2 of his last 5. So, but he has won his last 2, so that's pretty solid. But he did go on a 3-fight losing streak against Jimmy Rivera, Marab, and then Saeed. Dude, I lost money on that fight because I had it going to decision because Saeed up until that fight did nothing but go to decision, right? And then he ended up choking Cody Stamann out in the first round, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of submissions going in, but not like a whole bunch. But the worst part for that fight was that Cody got smoked in that fight. Like it wasn't close. Like Saeed rolled him.
Yeah. So I strictly remember that one. That being said, Douglas De Silva de Andrade, 28-5, won 3 of his last 5. Cody Stamann, the slight favorite here, -125. De Silva is +105, the dog. Cody Stamann, 33 years old, 5'6", 64-inch reach. Man, that is a really short inch reach just for the UFC in general. De Silva, 37 years old, 5'7", 68-inch reach, dude. I got to go Cody Stamann here because I don't see Silva having the wrestling advantage on him. I think Cody's going to have the wrestling advantage on him. If Silva has any advantage here, it's the straight up knockout power, but getting older, like how long does that last and how long does your chin last? Silva does have a chin too, but smart me here says Cody Stamann by decision is the way to go. And that's what I'm picking. Which way are you going this week, man?
De Silva, De Andrade, Vanderlei, every Brazilian name you could think of, just throw his way. But no, he's definitely that dude is a crusher. His abs are just absolutely shredded. He comes forward just winging shots. And he goes for the knockout too. He's got good knockout power. If you go back and watch some of his highlights, he's actually been in the UFC for a long time. He only fights about like once a year, but when he gets some knockouts, he has some highlight reel knockouts. I just think the only thing is I think Cody Stamann is just going to be a little bit quicker. I think he's just going to be a step ahead, and I think he's going to be probably a little bit stronger as well. I think in the wrestling exchanges, I think you'll see a lot of that from Cody Stamann, and I think the same thing as you. I think Cody Stamann should be able to get a decision victory.
Fair enough. Yeah, Cody Stamann's losses did age pretty well. Where is this fight going to be at again? In Brazil? It is not. This is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right. That being said, we are both on Cody Stamann this week, and we will move on up the card. And if you think that is a crazy name, I have something in store for y'all later on in the card. I got it pulled up while D-Rose was speaking. Next fight on the card, Dorian, we've already broke this down. I feel like at least one other time. Carl Williams, Chase Sherman. Carl Williams, 8-1, -420 favorite. Chase Sherman, +310 dog. He literally has no wrestling defense. Carl Williams is literally going to wrestle fuck Chase Sherman for 3 rounds. I'm not even going to give y'all the stats because it doesn't matter. Dorian, what are your thoughts on this fight? I'm going Carl Williams by decision.
Yeah, Chase Sherman. He's always been a brawler, scrapper, longtime UFC vet, even though he leaves and comes back like every couple of years or so. But Carl Williams, he's definitely gonna make this as slow and slow and safe as he can. He'll get a bunch of takedowns. not really have great control, but hold him up against the fence, maybe hold Chase Sherman down and probably get a decision.
Dude,
so let's go Carl Williams.
Dude, hopefully I can eat my words. Dude. But Carl Williams could not finish a late night snack, dude. Just like 3 chicken nuggets, dude. He ain't finishing. He's only eating 2 of them, dude. He ain't finishing. He don't finish nothing, dude. He has multiple chances for a finish, and he don't even attempt it, dude. That's why I say Carl Williams' decision. Dude, and Brent saying Chase sucks last fight. Unfortunately, I can't agree with you because I'm sure he'll be back in the UFC and end up fighting again because he seems to be good enough to beat people out of the UFC, but not good enough to beat people in the UFC. It just goes to show that the heavyweight division is not look how thin it is in the UFC. How thin do you think it is out of the UFC? You know, it's like
dude, because if you look at the top 10 the UFC heavyweight division, a lot of the names you're like it's pretty head scratching right now. I mean, there's a reason why Almeida and Rozenstruik are headlining this card this weekend, and it's almost like they're trying to see if they could keep Almeida at heavyweight just so they can keep the fresh blood.
Indeed. So we got the I'm not sure if I said it. We are both going Carl Williams on that last fight. We got the main event of the prelims. We got Matt the Immortal Brown taking on the Crusher Court McGee, or the tough as an old leather boot Court McGee. Anyway, the Immortal Matt Brown, 23-19, won 2 of his last 5. Court McGee, the Crusher, also won 2 of his last 5. Matt Brown, the slight underdog. Surprising to me. Court McGee, a minus 180 favorite. I guess I can kind of see, but I'll get into that. Matt Brown, 42 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. Court McGee, 38 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. So Matt Brown, a little bit taller, a little bit bigger reach, dude. This is where I kind of see like the favorite. I think the judges think Court McGee is going to come out there and wrestle Matt Brown. I just think these are 2 old dudes at this point. They're both got about the same strength. Matt Brown's seen every style. Court McGee's seen every style. They're both going to have solid game plans. They're both going to have good takedown defense. They're both going to go in here and they're going to slug it out. This is probably Matt Brown's last fight, fighting in Charlotte. I believe this is where he's from. Is he from Charlotte, or is he just kind of local? He's fighting out of Ohio, but he might be from North Carolina. He might be from North Carolina. So that being said,
I think he just wants to fight at this point. Like, he's Matt Brown, and I'm sure he probably wants to get the last fight and get it over with.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going the 42-year-old immortal Matt Brown as a slight dog this week. Which way are you going, D-Rose?
Man, so this fight's hard to call as well because Matt Brown has been, I'm not going to say rolling, but he's been competitive in his last few. And
who did he knock out that it surprised the shit out of me? Was it this one? Like he
Diego Lima. Yeah, Diego Lima. Well, it was the way that he did it because it was just like they just exchanged and he just came over with that big right over the top and he just
But this fight, the Miguel Baeza fight, I think he hurt Miguel Baeza bad down fight too, right?
Yeah, he did. Miguel Baeza knocked him out, but he had dropped him in the first round, I believe.
That didn't age well either because we kind of found out Miguel Baeza was kind of not that good too. So,
it just didn't make the smartest decisions. Like I said, don't stand there and trade with Chaos Williams, and you won't get slept like that. So, but in terms of this fight, I think that this one I'm having a tough time calling too, just because Court McGee coming off his last fight. I think they said it's the first time he's been knocked out in his career. So if that is the case, how is he going to come back from that? And is that really going to affect him? Is he going to be a little bit more gun shy? But I do think that he has the tools at this point. He's a little more well rounded he's got pretty decent boxing, good leg kicks, and good wrestling. So I think you can see another decision victory, and this is actually one of the ones I'm a little more confident in this weekend. Let's go Court McGee here.
All right, fair enough. Dorian going almost 2-1 favorite over your boy over here. Dorian going the Crusher, Court McGee. I'm going the Immortal, Matt Brown. That is our third different pick this week. So we got at least 3 different ones. So we will be putting that pick champ up on the line this week.
For some iffy ass picks. Let me tell you that for some iffy ass picks. Wow.
That being said, main card, y'all, hit that thumbs up button for us if y'all haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. We got the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, taking on the Great White, Alex Morono. Tim Means, 32-14-1. Won 3 of his last 5, but has lost his last 2. Alex Morono, 22-8, won 4 of his last 5. Was winning his last fight until he got frozen by the Sub-Zero punch that Santiago Ponzinibbio hit him with, dude. Tim Means, plus 190, slight dog. Alex Morono, minus 240 favorite. Tim Means now, 39 years old, dude. Me and you spoke a little bit about this, I think, earlier or last night, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But Tim Means, 39 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. Alex Morono, 32 years old, 5'11", 72-inch reach. So Tim Means going to have a little bit of a size advantage, but I don't think it's enough to matter too much. I personally don't think Tim Means is durable as he used to be. You know, he is 39 years old now, and he has taken a little bit more damage than I would have liked him to see in his past 4 or 5 fights now. I got Alex Morono probably by decision. However, if he drops Tim Means 2 or 3 times and gets that finish, it wouldn't surprise me even in the slightest. D-Rose, I know who you're going, but let the people know who you're going this week.
Yeah, I'm a big Dirty Bird fan, so I always throw it up for the Dirty Bird. He's one of the more exciting fighters that have been in the UFC. That's kind of like one of the low key fighters, and always kind of one of those low key on the undercard that I'm always excited to watch. But I do think at this point he has taken a little bit more wear and tear. He's fought a lot of top guys. And I do think that Alex Morono, man, I always seem to end up underrating him in all of his fights. Like, I believe I did pick Ponzinibbio in his in the last fight, but other than that, I felt like I had picked against Alex Morono in a lot of his fights coming up as well, and I had still kind of held it against him. I think maybe he had lost to Anthony Pettis a couple of years ago, and I just kind of held that loss against him, but he was able to reel off, like you said, on the good win streak that he went on, and I think he's a pretty good fighter, man. Good boxing, good footwork. I think in that Simmelsberger fight, I think he really displayed his foot
for me, dude. Like,
yeah,
I won't doubt his chin because of the punches that fucking Semi the Jedi just laid on him, and he just took it, dude.
Yeah, good chin. I think good fight IQ, and I think I think he's going to be a little bit more gun shy, especially coming off the knockout. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of a methodical Alex Morono here, but should be able to get the decision.
I hate that he fights on his toes, though. That always throws me off about people.
He literally stands straight up, like he's like a board. Like he is like as straight, like he is as straight as an arrow. Like stands straight up in the air, dude. It's crazy. Like now, that's one thing I will say that Tim Means could light him up with if he takes advantage is maybe some straight kicks up the middle, because he literally stands straight up and his hands are up like this. So. I think that's something that Tim Means does have that he could take advantage of.
Let's see. Stop underrating him. I'm hoping he's my best for rookie. If D-Rod, I guess they're talking about Gary. Jedi is a hammer hitter for sure. Not sure. All right. Main card fight, we got the Black Jaguar, Carlos Ulberg taking on the duelist, Ihor Potieria, apparently a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Carlos Ulberg, 7-1, only lost to Kennedy and Zetriku in his first UFC fight after molly-whopping Kennedy up for 2 rounds and then just getting death gassing in the third, dude, getting knocked out. Minus 300 favorite against Ihor Potieria that has also won 4 of his last 5. Plus 240 dog, dude. And Ihor's had a lot of fights. The issue is when he's had 18 fights, he's fighting people that are 1-1, 1-2, 0-0. So what's his competition? I don't feel like he should have 19 legitimate wins. It is what it is, though. Carlos Solberg, 32 years old, 6'4" with a 77-inch reach. Ihor Potieria, 26 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach, dude. There's not going to be that big of a size difference here. But if you do a little MMA math, dude, Nikolai Negumereanu knocked out Ihor Potieria. Carlos Solberg knocked out Nikolai Negumereanu. So if you do the MMA math that happened this past weekend, we can count on Ihor Potieria to knocking out Carlos Solberg to complete the MMA math of circle nonsense. In reality, I'm going Carlos Solberg by knockout. If Ihor Potieria cannot get Carlos Solberg to the ground, and I don't even know if Ihor Potieria has decent ground game, if he can't get him to the ground, this fight's fucking over, dude. Carlos Solberg gonna fucking crush him. That's my thoughts, but this could be one of the ones that I'm really confident in, and just Ihor comes in and proves me wrong, dude. I'm going Carlos Solberg via knockout. What are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, I think Carlos Solberg clearly the big favorite here and should be for a reason. And I think that, since Rozenstruik lost, he's been able to put it together. He's been able to use his defense a little bit more. But, the last couple knockouts that he's had against, Tafon and Chukwi and then Nikolai Negumereanu. So, yeah, coming off those, you can see his confidence starting to come in his hands now. And that left hook that he's got is absolutely money. That check left hook, and Ihor Potieria, just think he's a decent fighter. But there were even moments in the Shogun fight where Shogun was catching him with some pretty clean shots. So if Shogun was able to catch him pretty clean, I'm assuming that Carlos Solberg will be able to and should be able to get him out of there. So let's go Carlos Solberg.
Are you interested at a taste at Carlos Solberg via decision?
I think that, he's had fights before where he has came out and kind of been a little bit more methodical, kind of, I'm not going to say the Izzy game plan because he does fight out of City Kickboxing, but who was it against? Was it Billy Knight?
Charron.
All right, Fabio Charron. Yeah, that's who it was against. Yeah, he kind of just really boxed, leg kick, body jabs, kind of took his time
but that was right after getting knocked out too.
Right. So I think that he knocks him out. But as far as a betting prop, I think I seen a prop on that earlier that Carlos Solberg by decision is plus 460. That might be worth putting in a parlay for like a small couple bucks. One of your crazy $1 or $2.50 parlays. I can see something crazy like that.
I might throw 5 on that just fucking straight up. What is it, like fucking 4-1? That's like $20 off of 5. I'll take it. That being said, dude, feature fight of the night. I'm sorry. I'm sure we're both going Carlos Solberg there. I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. Right, I said that.
All right, feature fight of the night. D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez taking on the future Ian Gary Machado, dude. And this fight line surprises me, dude, because you know what? I'm going to let you break this one down. I've been talking a whole lot, and I feel like you maybe have some thoughts on this one, and I'm going to let you go first. Go for it, dude.
Well, I think this fight's really interesting. Two fighters that I really like, and, Ian Gary's one of the, high up-and-coming contenders in the division, and he's been on a roll as of late, and in his last fight, he was able to he got knocked down early in the fight and was able to face some adversity and was still able to get up, and he got to finish late in the fight too, so able to kind of withstand the storm early on from getting dropped and come back and get the win. And D-Rod, he's kind of fought some good veterans and things of that nature, and his fights always end up going to some weird split decision unless he ends up getting the finish. He got a lot of finishes early on in his career, and now he's kind of more resided to going to decision. I don't think it's more his his personal decision to go to decision, but that's just kind of how his fights have played out, except for the Neil Magny loss. But I think that just for the way Ian Gary strikes, his striking's so clean. I think his punches are a little more straighter, just better footwork. D-Rod is defensively pretty good. So as far as him getting hit, he doesn't really get hit super clean, but I can just see the accumulation of Ian Gary's combos kind of adding up. Don't think he's going to knock D-Rod out. D-Rod's just way too tough. He's way too tough to get knocked out. But I think Ian Gary would just be just a step ahead in the striking, and Ian Gary will get the win here.
Fair enough, dude. I feel about the same as you. I don't see either one of them knocking each other one out here just because D-Rod's super tough. He's got a damn chin. And he usually goes to split decision. That's why I'm personally not super confident in the almost, what is it, 3-1 favorite that, or minus 250 favorite that Ian Gary is, dude. Because D-Rod is tough fight. He is not going to go down easy, dude. A thought that I do have, though, dude, is if you lose to Neil Magny via submission, dude, and you're a black belt on the ground, I don't know, dude. I think if we see a finish here, I'm calling it Ian Gary via sub this week over D-Rod. Late, probably round 3, Ian Gary sub. I am going Ian Gary this week. But Ian Gary via decision, split decision, hairy split decision, one that's going to make your butthole pucker, or Ian Gary via sub. That's how I'm going. But Ian Gary getting the dub overall. What does everyone else say? Gobble's doing D-Rod. Brent saying Gary kicks, D-Rod uses hands and no grappling. I guess we'll see, brother. I guess we'll see. The path to victory is there. You lose to Neil Magny via sub, it's you can get subbed by anyone. Next fight of the night, dude. We got Lionheart, Anthony Smith taking on Johnny Walker. And let me share this screen real quick with y'all. Look at Johnny Walker's actual name. Dorian, can you see Wikipedia on my screen?
Let me go full screen here because I'm actually looking at the comments. Walker Johnny De Silva Barra De Souza.
Johnny Walker's actual name, Walker Johnny De Silva Barra De Souza. So from now on, that's what we have to refer to him as, right?
Dude, I would never in my life refer to him. Never, ever.
He's got so many names. All right, this fight, we got Lionheart Anthony Smith taking on Johnny Walker. Anthony Smith, 36-17, won 3 of his last 5. Johnny Walker, 20-7, won 3 of his last 5. Anthony Smith, minus 105, pretty much even fight. Johnny Walker, minus 115, yeah, just even fight overall. I guess slight lean toward Lionheart Anthony Smith. Which is 34 years old. Anthony Smith is 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. Johnny Walker is fucking massive for 205, dude. I don't understand how he makes 205. But he is 31 years old, 6'6" with an 82-inch reach, dude. And earlier when we were talking about Phil Hawes, the same kind of applies to Johnny Walker. He's a great athlete. He's the fighter that you would want to build in a video game, that you just put all your stats on explosivity and strength and acrobatics and power and all the crazy shit. And then you got to the end and you realize you don't have anything left for health and you have no chin left. And he's just a glass cannon, dude, an athlete with no chin, dude. He can be winning every second of the fight until he gets fucking chin, dude. And I suspect Anthony Smith to chin Johnny Walker this weekend, dude. I'm going Anthony Smith probably by knockout. He may win a decision. Johnny Walker may win a decision, but I'm picking Anthony Smith via knockout. Which way are you going, man?
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of these guys, but I do love me some Anthony Smith. But Johnny Walker, as you said, phenomenal athlete. When he first came into the UFC, he had the big knockouts early on and had flying knees, spinning back fists. He was just wild and all over the place. But that Corey Anderson loss really set him back, and he just almost kind of really had him able to kind of get his mojo since. He ends up going and fighting up in the division against the heavy hitters, and it seems like he always ends up getting clipped and dropped no matter what. And not to say that Ryan Spann has the best chin, but I always think about how kind of Anthony Smith is kind of, once Ryan Spann dropped him and put him on the ground, when he picked him up like a little brother, and Anthony Smith literally just beat the dog piss out of him after after he put him down. So I think even with the height advantage that Johnny Walker is going to have, I think Anthony Smith, just fight IQ and good boxing, I think he should be able to get the knockout here. Let's go Anthony Smith.
All right, looks like we are both on Lionheart this week. Looks like the chat is split right here, but this is a fairly even fight, so it don't surprise me too much. But Walker is coming for him. We saw how that went. Man. He got cartoonishly knocked out. He
got Jack in the Box knocked out. Like literally, he looked like a Jack in, like he got hit, and it was like came out the Jack in the Box when he got hit.
I don't like to make fun of like people get knocked out, but there's just something about when Johnny Walker gets knocked out, you can't help but to chuckle. You're like, that can't be real, but yes, it's real.
It looks like you would. It looks like you would see it on like Looney Tunes. Like you would not see that in real life. Like that would be what you would see on a cartoon. Like it's nuts.
Exactly. Main event of the night. If y'all haven't, hit that thumbs up button for us already. We've been in here about an hour already, and I said I wasn't trying to be in here too long, and I still got to rip open some UFC undercard. So I got some shit going on, y'all, so I apologize. We're going to run through this as quick as possible. Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on Jailton Almeida. Biggie Boy taking on Malhadinho. Biggie Boy 13-4. Jailton Almeida 18-2, dude. Biggie Boy plus 400 dog. Jailton Almeida minus 550 favorite. Biggie Boy is 35 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Malhadinho Almeida is 31 years old, 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. The way this fight's going to go is we're going to see a front kick from Malhadinho straight to a takedown, and then we are going to see Malhadinho either submit or ground and pound Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. However, I said this when the fight was first announced. If we see this fight get out of round one, I am going to be interested because the way Jailton fights is like there's no way that's lasting any amount of time. And also, Biggie Boy has that death touch. People sleep on Biggie Boy all the time. I am pretty solid at calling his fights. I want to say I'm perfect on them because I did probably call him to beat Volkov, and Volkov crushed him. But Biggie Boy does have knockout power, and he could clip Jailton. And that will also probably get another one of my sprinkles this weekend. Biggie Boy round one KO. It wouldn't surprise me too much. Or just Biggie Boy KO at all. But Jailton Almeida via sub round one is the way I'm going. D Rose, I assume you're going the same way.
Maybe round two sub. Who knows? But I do think that that Jailton, he should be able to get it done. Rozenstruik, whenever he's, I kind of go back to that Curtis Blades fight. Curtis Blades was able to kind of have, a lot of success, and I know that Jailton isn't as big as Curtis Blades is, but I would say that Almeida has, trickier setups to the way that he sets up his takedowns, a little bit more explosive, so he can kind of, burst in and out of range a lot quicker, and has multiple different ways to set his takedowns up. So should be able to get it down to the ground. And I think as soon as he does, Rozenstruik will look like a fish out of water, and Jailton will get it done.
Fair enough. So me and D Rose both on Malhadinho, Jailton Almeida this week. So that being said, dude, let's nail down our 3 different picks. Don't we have 4 different ones, or do we only have 3 different ones?
I believe we only got the 3.
All right. Being our first different pick of the night being the immortal Matt Brown taking on Court the Crusher McGee. Our second different pick going to be Ji Young Kim versus Mandy Baum. I am going Ji Young Kim. D Rose is going Mandy Baum. And our third and last different pick this week is going to be JRC, Jessica Rose Clark taking on UFC newcomer Tainara Lisboa. D Rose is going Tainara Lisboa, and I am going Jessica Rose Clark. So just real quick, one more time. I'm going Matt Brown, D Rose going Court McGee. I am going Ji Young Kim, D Rose going Mandy Bum. I'm going Jessica Rose Clark, D Rose is going Tainara Lisboa. In our 3 different fight picks, and D Rose's pick champ is coming back to this side this upcoming week, dude. I think I have I'd say that fight's pretty much about even. I think I might have two favorites, and you have two dogs. I have one dog, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I would say, but hey, that didn't mean anything. I had all dogs last week and still got the dub.
Dude.
So
yeah,
I had all
everyone
dogs.
that I picked was a favorite and still fucking lost. So
Yeah, that's the sport, dude. You know how crazy the sport is, man. So that's why we love it, though. At the end of the day, the underdogs, they always come out to play, and man, they can cash when you hit them right too. So definitely did this past weekend, and hopefully we can hit a few this weekend.
And Biggie Boy a sub at plus 3,000. Not a chance in hell it hits. Exactly. Don't put Smith or Walker in the parlays. That is probably one that will be in a few of my parlays, but most likely to just not go the distance, like under 1.5, something like that. But just the way that they fight, I'm not confident on either one of them straight up because, dude, I'm wrong at picking Johnny Walker fights all the time. I call him a dork every time he fights because the dork always ruins my bets, dude. Him versus Ewan, him versus Ryan Spann, him versus anyone. It always ruins my parlays, dude. I am not putting Johnny Walker in my parlays anymore. He continues to ruin them shits. But as I said, y'all, we're going to close out the show. I got this UFC Prism undercard that I got to open here and get uploaded. Probably close to midnight when I'll get that uploaded. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. I need Rozenstruik to win this. It's going to be a big ask, brother. Leaves with no shoes. Exactly. Anything before we get out of here, man?
Pick champ back with the rifle champ. Gonna stay with the rifle champ this coming up weekend, man.
I didn't show off the shirt this week. It's the Izzy KO over Alex with the bow and arrow here. Let me see if I can get it in here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kind of hard to see.
Pause. That is dope,
though. Sweet revenge,
with the Miami background drop too. So
yeah. Kind of hard to see, but still a cool shirt in my opinion. But that's going to be all from us here on the Golden Octagon. We will be back next Wednesday to talk about next week's fights, which are Angela Hill versus Mackenzie Dern. So not going to be the best card in the world, but we're still going to be here to talk about it. These current fights from this upcoming weekend, some fight news. I'm going to take that strap from D Rose and show him who the real champ is. I know Lush Lomain is on my side. Let's see. Nice shirt. Where do you get them from? From the Full Violence store, brother. But the way it works is you have to get it when it's available, because if not, they just stop selling it and it sells out, and they only make so many every single time. So Lush Lomain, I appreciate you stopping by, brother. Truly, Drew. Truly.
Sir.
So thank you very much for being in here past few weeks, brother. Always the first one in here. So thank you. If you watch this right now, live or after just whenever you watched it, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate every single one of y'all that just stopped by to listen to me personally. I'm a dumbass. I don't know if D Rose considered himself to be a dumbass, but we're just two dudes. So we appreciate however many of y'all stop by just to hear us talk. But once again, Matt D Rose is on that side of your screen. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. We'll see y'all next week. I'll see y'all in a few hours once I open up this UFC cards. But that's going to be all from us here on the Golden Octagon, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.